Welcome to Silverstone, home of Formula One racing in Great Britain, where shortly we're expecting the cars to appear for today's practice session. We should expect to see some very large crowds here this weekend, as we do every year at the British Grand Prix. It's a popular racing circuit, it has huge fan support and is well liked by the drivers and teams.
Many of the teams are based in Britain, and so Silverstone is their home race. It's one of the most historic circuits on the F1 calendar, and one that all the teams enjoy racing at.
Not only is Silverstone one of the oldest circuits in the Formula One World Championship, but it's also home to some of the most iconic corners, and none more so than Maggots and Beckett's. This is a high-speed sequence of left, right, left, tightening corners that lead into Chapel, and then of course the long hanger straight.
The high speeds of this sequence demands extreme skill and precision from the driver. Getting this wrong will affect the momentum all the way down the hanger straight, which is also a DRS zone.
Hello guys, and welcome back to this F1 2015 career mode in the 2014 season, driving as Daniil Kvyat in his Toro Rosso. Last time out in Austria, we had a good race. I'm going to let you pause this video now and check it out if you haven't already seen it. Okay, that's about enough time. So last time out in Austria, we had a great race, coming home in 5th, narrowly beating Lewis Hamilton to the line after a last lap incident with him. We were fortunate not to get a penalty there. This time out in Great Britain, my home circuit, because I am British, I'm looking for a good result here. It's a track that I absolutely love, but unfortunately I don't think we've got the car to really perform well in this race. So I'm hoping to get maybe a couple of points. We'll see. So nothing really happened in practice as per usual, just me putting in laps, getting used to the track. So we're going to have a look at the practice results now.
That's practice over and a successful session for Lewis Hamilton. He's bound to be pleased with the car's performance today.
So there we go, Lewis Hamilton tops the practice session once again, with Nico Rosberg losing out by 0.2 of a second. Sebastian Vettel gets third. We're down in 10th position, 2.5 seconds off the pace on the option tyres. So like I said, I don't think this would be a great track for us. I think we're hoping for 1 or 2 points in this Grand Prix. So without any further ado, let's go have a look at the qualifying results of this British Grand Prix.
Welcome to this afternoon's qualifying session here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. It's going to be an exciting afternoon as the teams battle it out for the prize of pole. Silverstone is steeped in racing history, and we can definitely say that every track position will be hotly contested in the next few minutes.
Over the last few years, there's been a range of winners from Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari. And I think those are the teams we need to look out for again in today's qualifying session.
So here we go, one-shot qualifying for the British Grand Prix. Hoping for about 10th or 9th position so we can get a few points in this race. Not hoping for anything amazing from this qualifying session. But let's have a look at our qualifying lap. So here we are, coming around the last corner now. And across the line, running down to the first corner where you just really have to drop it off the throttle and drop down a gear. You don't have to brake at all through this corner. As we drop down to 6th gear, and we take P1 for now, going into turn 3. This one you've got to drop it down to 3rd gear as we lock up a little bit, drop it down even into 2nd. Very slow corner here for the loop as we run it just a tad wide. That allows Lewis Hamilton just to shoot past there as we're down to 9th place at the moment. Going down the first DRS straight, the Wellington straight. Down into P10 at the moment as we come across to finish sector 1, and we are 6/10 off of Lewis Hamilton's time. So coming through, I believe this is Luffield or Woodlands. Just putting a wheel onto the grass, try not to get onto the gravel there and try not to lose the back end when we get down on the throttle. Coming down the old pit straight now towards Cops, I believe this is. Try not to run wide here. Not too bad through there. We're P6 at the moment, so that section wasn't too bad. As we're coming through the Maggots and Beckett section, a very high speed corner section, as we've dropped down even into 3rd for now. As we go back up into P6 as we run wide on that last corner, down the long hanger straight now towards Stowe. Dropping down to P9, haven't got the acceleration, haven't got the straight line speed on other cars. As we're going round Stowe now. Back up to P6, coming through the last few corners now, still behind Lewis Hamilton. He leads the way again for his home Grand Prix. Losing the back end just a tad there, but catching it so it's not too bad. As we come around the final corner, what position will we get? It looks like, yep, so we get P6 in this qualifying session.
What a session it's been for Mercedes today. They've locked the front row of the grid for tomorrow's race.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
So, there we go. Lewis Hamilton gets pole position for his home Grand Prix, beating Nico Rosberg by 1/10 of a second. Valtteri Bottas gets third. Sebastian Vettel's fourth and Daniil Ricciardo's fifth. We are surprisingly in sixth place. That's absolutely fantastic qualifying result for us. Felipe Massa gets seventh, Fernando Alonso eighth, Kimi Raikkonen ninth, and Jenson Button rounds off the top 10. So that will do for today's qualifying session. Let's head over to the race for the British Grand Prix.
It's Sunday afternoon, and that means it's time for Formula One. This week finds us in the lush English countryside as the teams make their final preparations before the start of the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone. With over 30 P1s to his name, Lewis Hamilton's already one of the most successful pole sitters in Formula One history. Well, he's added to that impressive tally this weekend, and today he'll be hoping he can add another win to his record as well.
He was driving on another level yesterday, so it wouldn't be a surprise if he just pulls away from the field and is untouchable. But as we know, anything can happen in Formula One, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Things certainly haven't been going to plan for the McLaren team this year. The car just isn't being as competitive as to what we're used to seeing from them. It's a frustrating time for everyone, both here at the racetrack and back at the factory.
We're used to seeing the McLaren cars at the top of the grid and up on the podium. That is the standard they're used to setting, and one that Ron Dennis will be determined to reassert. Whether he believes he has the right drivers to do that in his current lineup, only he will know.
So here we go, race day for the British Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the race strategy for today. There we go, so starting on the option tyres and pitting around lap 5 or 6 with a 13 lap race. Another short time of 22 minutes because it's quite a long track. So here we go, starting on the grid, starting in P6.
Let's be patient going into turn 1.
5 lights, and away we go. Another terrible start as Daniil Ricciardo just gets away, and so does Felipe Massa. That's Alonso now on our left. Will he go up the inside? No, we don't. So we bash into Felipe Massa. That's going to absolutely compromise our exit. Will Fernando Alonso have a go around the outside of turn 3? No, he doesn't. We're just going to shut the door on him there. Still following Felipe Massa in P7. Now Jenson Button's behind us as there's a yellow flag. There must be an incident into that turn 3 corner. As we're going down towards the Wellington straight now, Felipe Massa's just shot off as Jenson Button looks like he's going to have a go round our inside towards Luffield, I believe this is. No, he just backs out of it. He can't make the move stick. Will he have another go? No, he won't go round Brooklands, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at the corner names here. I know a few, but not all of them. As we're still following Felipe Massa, but he's just shot off for now. We're going to be trying to look to catch him up. But Jenson Button's going for a move around the outside along the old pit straight. Will he make the move stick? No, he just backs out of it again. That's going to hand him into the clutches of whoever is behind him, which is Kimi Raikkonen, as he's going to go around the inside of the Maggots and Beckett section. Will he be able to make this move stick? They're still side by side now as Jenson Button gets ahead. Kimi Raikkonen gets back ahead of Jenson Button just momentarily. Will he stay ahead? Yes. But now Jenson Button will get the slipstream down the long hanger straight with Sergio Perez having to go around the outside of Jenson Button and Kimi Raikkonen. Jenson Button goes up the inside. Will he be able to make the move stick? No, Kimi Raikkonen's around the outside. Still side by side. They bang wheels just a little bit there, but Kimi Raikkonen makes the move stick. So Kimi Raikkonen will keep P8, I believe that is. So we're looking on board Nico Hülkenberg as these three go side by side as he tries to make a move up the inside of his teammate, and they touch. They get stuck on their wheels as Nico Hülkenberg then spins round and just gets taken out and nearly flipped by whoever that was. Will we get a replay of that? Yes, we will. So Kevin Magnussen is watching this all happen. Here we go. Nico Hülkenberg going up the move on Sergio Perez. They just bang wheels. Then he slows down and just wants to absolutely smashes him. I don't know what happened there, but he just went straight into him and then bangs wheels with the Lotus. So now we'll watch this on board with our teammate, Jono Byrne. So Magnussen just slows down, and then everyone just sort of speeds up and drives straight into Nico Hülkenberg. I don't think they like him very much if they want to do that. But we're now back on with us on lap 5, our pit stop time. We've got Kimi Raikkonen 2 seconds behind us. We've got quite a gap to him. Felipe Massa's ahead. As it only looks like one car's stayed out, two cars have stayed out, I think.
Hamilton's just made a move.
So Hamilton stayed out, with Nico Rosberg coming in. So Hamilton is now in P1. We've got Felipe Massa ahead of us, so I'm guessing Valtteri Bottas was another car that didn't pit. Otherwise, they've double stacked him, and that could mean that we could get Felipe Massa again. As there's Vettel leaving the pits. So, yes, they pitted the two Williams at the same time, so we could get Felipe Massa in the pit stops. Will we get a faster pit stop than him? Yes, we do, so we've jumped Felipe Massa. That's absolutely awesome. Was not expecting that, but we've jumped him. We've got the position on him. We've got Roman Grosjean ahead of us. No, we haven't, because those lot haven't pitted yet. So we're down to 13th at the moment. Coming out of the pit lane. That's one of the longest pit lanes in F1 on the F1 calendar. It's just so slow through there and so long. It just takes ages. So it's lap 6 now. And we are in P13 with Adrian Sittel ahead of us. We've got on cold tyres, that's why we're going so slowly around the corners. Try not to lose the back end or go wide on any of them. But we've got Felipe Massa still behind us, but he's quite a bit away from us at the moment.
You're locking your front tyres. Try adjusting the brake balance back.
We run wide there because of the cold tyres. It's just very hard to get the throttle down on these brand new fresh prime tyres. But hopefully they've got up to temperature by now, because we're coming through the very fast section. No, we're not. We're going to skip ahead to the end of lap 6 and see who comes in for their pit stops and where we come out after all the pit stops have happened.
Just crossed the line into the pits. He's in the pits now.
So there we go. We've got a whole load of cars in the pits, including our teammate Jean-Eric Verne. We've got a couple of cars leaving the pit lane. So will we be able to overtake them as we're going to go round the first corner? There we go, we've got two cars. That's Jenson Button. We get just, oh, we get a wheel onto the grass, which sends us wide and nearly straight into the path of Jenson Button. As we're right behind Kimi Räikkönen now. He's on cold tyres, so we're going to try and capitalise on that. Round onto the Wellington Straight. We're going to be right behind him. Will we get DRS? Yes, we do. Will we be able to get round him? As we've got the much faster straight line speed than him at the moment. We're going to brake later into this corner. Going side by side, and we make the move stick so far. Will he have another go? No, I think that's us up into P6. Back into the position where we started before we got overtaken by Felipe Massa. So coming across the old start finish line now. No, we're not. We're going to skip ahead to the last lap. So absolutely nothing happened between lap 6 and lap 13 as Lewis Hamilton wins his home Grand Prix here in Great Britain. So we're going to come round Stowe, the last couple of corners now. 19 drivers left in this race, so I'm guessing 3 people DNF'd. I don't know who they were. As we're coming around the last couple of corners. And we come across the line for 6th place in the British Grand Prix. That's a great result for me, being my home Grand Prix.
No doubt about the driver of the day today. It's Lewis Hamilton, whose Mercedes was just too strong for the opposition. It's another win for the British driver.
Sometimes a driver just feels comfortable in the car and is dialed into the track, making for an unbeatable combination.
After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
So there we go. Lewis Hamilton gets the 25 points in his home Grand Prix with Nico Rosberg 2nd. Daniil Ricciardo comes 3rd with Sebastian Vettel 4th. Valtteri Bottas gets 5th. We come home where we started in 6th place. That's absolutely brilliant for us. Felipe Massa behind us in 7th after that pit stop where he got stuck behind Valtteri Bottas. Jenson Button gets 8th. Fernando Alonso gets 9th. And Sergio Perez comes home in 10th. That will round out the top 10, where our teammate came in P12. So let's have a look at the driver's standings after that Grand Prix. So there we go. Lewis Hamilton still wins the Drivers' Championship by 13 points. Valtteri Bottas has now dropped off to 31 points behind Lewis Hamilton. We're up to 8th after that result. We've jumped Fernando Alonso and Kimi Räikkönen. We've got Jenson Button still ahead of us, but only by 1 point. And Fernando Alonso is only 1 point behind us, with Kimi Räikkönen only 3 points behind us. So there's a nice little battle going on there. Let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship. So, in the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes still lead the way with 297 points ahead of Williams. We are in 5th place, 66 points at the moment, and behind the Ferraris by quite a bit, so we're only really battling to keep the McLaren Mercedes behind us. That will do it for today's race and today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this race, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more F1 content, and that will do for today's episode. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.